Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I'm Maui Paul. We are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. We're going to be working through my I Am deck, which is just full of positive affirmations. And I want to say thank you guys so much for being here and for just playing this game with me today. I really appreciate it when you share this stream and expand it to other people. So if you know some folks who could use some positivity in their lives, I would really appreciate it if you hit that share button and share this all over the world. Let the internet know that places like this are important. That basically positive echo chambers like the ones that we're creating right here matter. And so I want to say thanks so much for just being here, being a part of it. You guys are awesome. So today we are going to be going through one of these cards, and I'm basically just going to pull one off the top of the deck. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the card. You're going to respond out loud, I am the affirmation, and then I will affirm that for you. We'll write it down, we'll affirm it for each other, and we will have a really fun time. So let us begin by saying that today I am bold. I am bold. I recognize opportunity and move decisively. So I am bold. I recognize opportunity and move decisively. Are you bold? You are bold. You recognize opportunity and move decisively. So I'm going to write that down right now. I am bold. I recognize opportunity and move decisively. And as I write that down, I am bringing it into the world. I am affirming it. I am manifesting it. It is happening. I feel it in my bones. And I can see that you do too because you are writing it down as well. Good morning, Lauren. Good morning, Nicole. I see that you guys are here. Good morning, Brenda Jean. I see that you are here as well. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this stream. And yeah, for just showing up in the morning to affirm this good stuff. Fact is that our lives are nothing but better when we recognize our boldness, when we understand that we are smart enough and wise enough to know what opportunity looks like, and that we are brave enough to decide to go for it, to realize that the rewards outweigh the risks. There were so many times in my own life where I've seen an opportunity, but I've been too timid to go for it, and it's hurt me tremendously because the the fact is that what I would have lost from going for it was absolutely minuscule in comparison to what I could have gained. And so much of life is understanding that life is risk, that we are consistently taking risks to do things. Good morning, Shauna. I see you there. Good morning, Brenda Jean. Um, we are we are consistently taking risks no matter what, and that inaction is itself an action. That not doing anything is a decision. So we have to recognize, and indeed we do, that opportunity knocks, and it's really important for us to move decisively and take advantage of it. And this is an old message, but a new card. I was thinking about boldness. I enjoy the game of chess. Chess is a lot of fun. I used to play it as a kid. I absolutely hated it as a kid, but I used to play it with my dad every single night at dinner. It's probably why I hated it because I had to, and I hate doing things that I have to do or that I feel obligated to do. Also, because my dad trounced me every single night, and well, let's face it, nobody likes to lose all the time, and that's exactly what happened. Um, but as I got older, I started to realize that there's a tremendous beauty in the game. And good morning, Heather. I see you there. It's wonderful to see you on the stream this morning. And hey, good morning, AR Soulmating. I don't know if it's one or both of you, but good morning. I see you guys on the stream as well. It's nice to see you here. But anyways, yeah. So as I got older, I started to recognize the beauty in the game of chess. You know, there are definite phases to the game, but in the end game, that's when the king comes out. The king usually comes out in the end game, becomes an active piece. And if you know much about chess, you understand that the queen is the most powerful piece and the king is the most important. You can win a game without a queen, but once you don't have a king, you're done. The game is over. The whole point is to trap the king. And so I saw this picture of a chessboard, and the king was kind of in the middle of the board. And when the king is in the middle of the board, that generally means that there are some shenanigans afoot on that chessboard, and that is a very bold move to have your king in the middle. And usually, the king is safest on the edge. So we are bold, and we are bold when we move all of our assets to a place where they're most powerful, and when we decide. Every time that the word decide comes up, I always talk about the Latin root for decide because I feel like we need to know it. The word decide comes from the Latin decidere, which means to cut off, and the Latin suffix side, which means to kill, not just to cut off, but to kill. So when we move decisively, when we decide, we kill off all other possibilities. We say we've made a decision and we forsake all other decisions. We can't waffle about it. We have to choose it, and we choose it intentionally. And as we do, we fully commit ourselves, just like this king is fully committed right to the middle of that board. And if you look in the bottom right of the card, the king is supported by the queen and two of the bishops. So this king isn't in the middle of the board alone and vulnerable. This king is in the middle of the board for a reason and a purpose. And so, indeed, whoever's playing this particular chess game is very bold about it. Anyways, I feel like I am very bold in life, and one of my morning alarm says that I do the things that other people are afraid to do and get to live the life that other people can only dream of living. And that's just one of my own morning affirmations as I recognize that I used to be the other people. I used to be the people who were afraid of making the choice, of afraid of doing the things, and that I would look at other people's lives and I would dream of living their life. And now I feel like I am living life on the terms that really resonate with me. And that comes because of boldness. I I recall a time when I was riding my motorcycle across the country. I had been living in Central America for a little while, and I realized that I could use a motorcycle in Central America, but I didn't have a motorcycle license. So I came to the United States and I took the MSF course, the Motorcycle Safety Foundation, got my license, and I said, well, what better way to get some experience on a motorcycle besides just riding it across the country? So I did. I rode it across the country. So I bought a motorcycle, rode it across the country, and then once I had about a couple thousand miles under my belt, I said, okay, now it's time for me to ride the bike down to my home, which at the time was in Costa Rica. And so I rode down to the border of Texas and Mexico, which is actually right where Elon Musk is currently has the star base. It's literally within a couple miles of where I crossed into Mexico. And I remember that as I got closer to Mexico, the idea of riding my bike through 6 Central American countries, it stopped being this idea in my head and it started to be this reality where I realized I'd have to make a decision. I would have to decide to either do it or not do it. And all of the media that I was listening to, every time I'd tune into the weather report, there would be something on the news about don't go to Mexico, you're going to die. Don't go to Mexico, you're going to die. And I mean, I certainly heard all the stories about people who had started these big road trips to get across Central America on a bike or on a car and were never heard from again. And as I pulled up to the border, I mean, I remember I had this palpable sense of, hey, you can turn around. Like, you don't need to do this. You can ship the bike. You can spend a couple $1,000, ship the bike, hop on an airplane for $300, and be at your home in Costa Rica in 6 hours. And the bike will show up in about 3 weeks. And you don't have to go through all this danger. And I thought to myself then, I thought, am I the kind of person who doesn't do the things that I say I'm going to do? Am I the kind of person who will regret this later on? And is the risk that I'm taking of not making it, of dying for any one of 1,000 reasons, is that risk so much that I'm willing to give up on my goal? And I decided that I wasn't going to give up on it, that I was going to cross that border, and that I was going to figure it out, and that if I didn't make it, that at least I died doing the thing that I had chosen to do, as opposed to running away from the thing that I chose to do. So I recognized that there was an opportunity to grow, and I moved decisively. And well, I'm still around and I have some incredible stories as to that 3 month trip across all those Central American countries. And while I was certainly in some positions where I could have died, I didn't. And I feel like those stories that I have made me a better and more empathetic person, a bolder, braver person, and somebody who really is more aware of my own capabilities. So I am bold today. You are bold as well, and so let's be bold together. This card is our permission slip today to look for opportunity in unexpected places and to decide to do it, to recognize, to trust ourselves, to trust our abilities, to trust our wisdom, to trust our experience, to trust our intuition. Let's go be bold today, and I appreciate you guys being here. If you need a specific affirmation, they're archived on my YouTube channel. And until then, I will see you guys this evening at 9 p.m., where we will discuss how I Am Bold showed up in our lives today. So I will see you guys at nightfall with Maui Paul, 9 p.m. For now, aloha from paradise.